Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is from OK Exam. My wife cheated on me, and when I confronted her, she laughed at me. I cheated on my wife, M38F41, 4 years ago. I regret it to this day, and I have never done anything since. We have 2 small children, and when she found out, she moved out. Life was hard on the both of us, and we were miserable. I love my wife more than anything, and losing her was excruciating. After a few months apart, I begged her to come back, and we took it slow, going to therapy and just trying to build our life together back up. She moved back after a year, and everything was back to normal again. We were even stronger, and our relationship grew. We are very happy together. I finally thought our life was perfect again. About a week ago, a man showed up at my door, and when I opened, he was confused, then apologized for mixing the days up. I was supposed to fly home with my children the next day. My wife took over and she went back to the guy's car, and they talked for 5 minutes and he drove away. I asked her who he was, and she said he was just a friend. He came to pick her up since I was supposed to be at my parents', but he mixed the days. I was shocked, so I asked her if she was sleeping with him. She was so unbelievably unbothered, looked at me for a moment and said yes. I was speechless. I asked, "Are you sleeping with others?" She said, "Yes." I asked her since when, and she said, "Since we got back together." She was calm the whole time, talking about it like it was normal. She asked me why it was okay for me and not for her, and when I said that I never as much as looked at another woman since I cheated, she was surprised at first, then she laughed at me. She said she just assumed that I did, so she thought if I could, then so could she. I canceled my trip to stay with her at home, but she said that she was sorry. She already made the plans. I got very upset and started yelling at her. She said that if I didn't like it, maybe we aren't supposed to be together. Then she said, "If you start yelling again, I want a divorce." Our next post is by Throwaway. I inadvertently, 37F, outed my STBX husband, 36M, and our daughter, 14F, won't speak to me anymore. We were together for 16 years. Nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the fact that he was having unprotected, passionate touching with men for the last 7 years of our marriage. There were no red flags. He was always caring, attentive, a good listener, a generous lover. I thought I found my soulmate, as cliché as it sounds. Hard-working, responsible, encouraged me to finish my degree while he worked and daughter was in school. It's been 6 months of divorce proceedings, and I still feel like I'm trapped in someone else's nightmare. I found his secret phone when we were moving house. At first, I thought one of his friends must have forgotten theirs when they were helping us back up some things, but as I picked it up, I accidentally clicked the side button, and the screen lit up with a picture of him and a man kissing. I tried his passcode and it worked. I'll spare you the long and many details, but yes, he is either gay or bisexual and has had multiple long-term relationships with various men, as well as plenty of hookups. At least 20-30 different men with whom he had unprotected, passionate touching whilst passionate touching with me at home. I'm embarrassed to admit that I vomited after reading all that correspondence. I'm not homophobic. His family is very liberal, blue voting, with multiple people openly gay. My family is very accepting. We attended pride events with my younger siblings for F's sake. Why the hiding? Why the sneaking? I filed for divorce, and he turned into a vindictive monster that fought me on everything, from the custody of our daughter to a set of fancy vintage porcelain figurines. He made outlandish claims that I was to reimburse for the amount he paid for my studies from the marital budget. Me and my lawyer spent many days reading the shit he sent through his lawyer. Ultimately, due to inability to reach an agreement, we went in front of a judge. It went about as well as you think it did. He and his lawyer, one of the men he was cheating with apparently, spewed absolutely absurd nonsense. I was a negligent parent. I didn't deserve a family. I'm a wronged, greedy, trophy wife, whatever that is. Ultimately, me and my lawyer brought up the fact that he continuously put my health at risk by engaging in irresponsible sexual behaviors. Soon-to-be ex's response, "Oh well, I was on PrEP for 3 years." Needless to say, it was a shit show. The judge sided with me. I guess all these times I wondered where my BV and yeast infections come from finally paid off. Additionally, the judge ordered supervised visitation and for all communication to be through a special parenting app because soon-to-be ex had to be escorted out of the courtroom due to shouting and disruptive behavior, and judge thought he might turn violent eventually. Out of sheer luck, I think. I do not have any STD, but I'm still scared. I feel disgusting and violated, and I'm going to have to get tested every month for the next 6, per advice of my OBGYN. And the cherry on top, I'm not sure how, but his escapades got out and into the extended family. Most of the gay folks on both sides essentially cut him off, with one of the older uncles showing up to his job to berate him. His own father apparently called to scream at him, and his mother's health is getting worse due to stress. My daughter is angry at me that I outed him. She, in a very Gen Z teenage fashion, is giving me the cold shoulder because I could have ruined his life. She's in therapy already, and that does not seem to be helping at all. If anything, she's using pop psychology lingo she hears there to berate me instead. She seems to understand that his behavior put me at a high risk of contracting an incurable disease, not to mention the cheating. That stuff hurts. I remember being 7 to 8 years old and hearing my mom cry because her art college friends were dying of AIDS. I remember the marches. I remember being 12 to 13 and my dad giving me and my siblings a speech about the importance of condoms and how they might literally prevent us from dying young. And yes, HIV isn't a death sentence nowadays, but we live in a city with one of the highest rates in the US. I'm so angry for our ruined life, for the fact that my soon-to-be ex is a coward, for the pain my daughter is going through. Thank you for reading. Edit to address the most common comments I see. 1. I'm not looking for advice, just venting. 2. The divorce is not finalized yet, hence why soon-to-be ex. He is stalling in every way possible because finances let him. We are reasonably well off, and it was found out during the process he had a whole separate account for his amorous exploits. 3. My daughter's therapist is court-mandated, and I cannot change anything about it until there is a verdict reached, at least maybe longer. Family relationship conservation is the main goal of it all, and basically, the therapist wants daughter to maintain a positive relationship outlook on soon-to-be ex despite the everything. Next up, posted by both injury, my wife of 2 years is cheating on me. Today I, M27, found out my wife F25 is cheating on me. As with all cheaters, she messed up. She left her second phone home when she left for work. I'm numb because I heard her phone go off and I assumed she had just left it and we were supposed to meet up for lunch later, but when I picked up her phone, I saw a number I didn't recognize and the text on there said it all. It read, "I can't wait to see you tonight. Yeah, I know that maybe that's just a friend, and this could just be a work phone, but my gut tells me otherwise. I've been thinking about it, and she has been acting weird. She's been working long hours, she's been on 2 girls' trips this month, and she's been randomly called in to work on her days off. I don't know what to do. Her second phone has a lock on it, otherwise I'd open it and read the other texts. What do I do? Update. Thank you for all the comments. I just finished with lunch with her. I confronted her about the phone, and the look of horror on her face broke what little hope I had left that she wasn't cheating on me. I gave her her phone and told her to open it and show me the text thread, and the messages date back to December. I asked her how long she's been cheating, and she confessed. She broke down and started apologizing as I read the messages, which were like daggers straight to my heart. I asked her again how long, and apparently it's been happening our whole marriage. When I told her I don't think I could forgive her, she got mad and drove home, packed a suitcase, and left. I'm sitting here on our bed with a mixture of sorrow, pain, and a desire to just wake up from this nightmare. I don't know where I went wrong. Why couldn't I be a better husband to her? I feel so lost and hopeless. She was my everything. Thank you for the support. Update 2. Wow, okay, so I didn't think this post would get any likes or support. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate all the comments and advice. So today I had the locks changed to the house. I called a divorce attorney to help me, and I meet with him in a day, so hopefully he takes my case. I went through some of her messages and her friends' messages to me. Apparently she twisted the story to make it look like I cheated on her and she's the victim. Unfortunately for her, I took a picture of the text that said "I can't wait to see you" and sent that to her family. I don't know if that will do anything, but yaw, I feel insanely guilty every text I read from her. She called me about 40 times and left voicemails, which I immediately deleted. With all the support and help from you guys, I feel like I can make it through this. Oh, also I did set a doctor's appointment to get tested for STDs. Thank you for all support, I really appreciate it. Yesterday, my world fell apart, and you guys are helping me pick up the pieces. My family believes me and support me, and my friends support me too. I still have a lot of pain in me, but I feel like I can breathe a little better, and as some of you have mentioned, that it can only get better from here. I hope this is the case because this hurt is one I never want to feel again. I'll keep you updated as it comes. Final update, the happier one. Thank you Reddit. I, 27M, almost made the worst decision 2 weeks ago. I almost hurt myself over my ex-wife, 25F. I'm happy to report that I'm back from the hospital with more hope and peace than I've felt in a long time. I got out last week, and since then I finalized my divorce. My friend has moved in with me to help get me through this rough patch. Also, it turns out that my ex was cheating on me with a married coworker, and when she ran to him after she left, he chose his wife over her. I don't know them, otherwise I'd let his wife know about his infidelity. My ex is now living in a motel because her friends and family, after I sent them proof, have all but abandoned her. Life is looking up, and without your kind words and support, I wouldn't be here. Thank you for saving my life. Now it's time for me to love it again. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.